Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly analysis for NQ going into August 15th. This is August 12th, Friday afternoon, and let's dive into our analysis. Let's start with our calendar for economic events going into 15th. We do have CPI here, and we do have some FOMC minutes. That's interesting. And I see Fed balance sheet. This is not an FOMC meeting, but FOMC minutes. So I don't see much trend going on for the next week because we had a big trend move last week. So I would think this week will be choppy, but let's figure that out from the charts. Looking at the charts, I'm going to start with the 5-year monthly here and do some trend lines here. And drawing simple trend lines here, we can see I want to draw trend lines, not a channel. So drawing simple trend lines here, if I try to join the bottoms and the tops, we can see it's just trying to touch that trend line from the bottom and hopefully break through, but we'll see. And as you can see here, it tried 3 months to break that trend line, could not break, but once that's broken, it broke this trend line, then went a little bit above that, and that's our signal to short. And then it just kept selling, and now then it's trying to break it back and go towards the upper side of the trend line. I want to bring to your notice that August is usually a lighter month on a volume. So if we look at other months of, you can see here July and August are pretty light on volume. So July and August are pretty light on volume. Let's go to 2021. There is July was not right on volume, but August was. The reason behind that is that the big money makers, the hedge funds, they are all on vacation, the summer vacation, and as soon as the vacation is over, they come back, which is towards the end of August and beginning of September. That's when we see some big actions in volume. So I'm expecting going towards end of August, beginning of September, some sell-off, but we will go by price action rather than prediction. So here an immediate resistance looks to be around 13709, so we will call it here, let's call it right there, 13700. So let's set that to a round number. All this resistance and supports are not single numbers but are like a zone. So we would say 13700 to 13720 to 740 being a zone of resistance, same for support. Let's figure out our support, and before I dive deeper into weekly and daily charts, I want to make sure that we see here that we are still not in the overbought area. We're just breaking out of the oversold area and we're heading towards the overbought area. Let's look at a weekly here, and I can go to a 3-year weekly and see if anything has changed. The only thing that I can say has changed, that it has broken out of that trend here. So that's our trend. As you can see, it's clearly broken that weekly trend. I'm not gonna emphasize more on this. Looks similar to my ES analysis, so refer to more details on those trends on my ES video. Now looking at here, I can tell that the immediate support is definitely this area here, which is the support. So that is 12980. So we will put that at 12980, and let's see if this still holds for daily and then hourly charts. And looking at the 1-year daily here, Very interesting. So on that trend line, it tried to sell off, it could not, and now it's trying to break that trend line. So 13,594, so 13,600 for sure. I'm not sure if everyone can see that. That's where it is. So it's trying to break that 13,600 trend line. And if I auto zoom here, that's right here on that 13,600 is right that supply area. So definitely something that I would keep an eye. It had broken this area. As you can see, it broke from the top. There was a huge resistance on this one here, then broke out, and then again came, broke another area of supply, and then broke down. And it tried to break it, could not break it, went down, and again broke through that one. So these supply areas, I'm pretty sure, are bulls have taken out. There are not much orders left in this supply area. This is the other supply area that I see here for me to take a short. So I'm going to add here. So 14,410. So will I take a 13,700 short? Not so sure. The reason behind that is that pretty much all these supplies have been eaten out by the bulls. So once this is broken, it's a very weak resistance. But if the price reacts with a strong retraction from this area, then yes, I'll take a short, but I would most probably try to take a long from here. So I'll let it break and come down and touch that 13,700 area. I will remove this line so that you can see that. So 13,700 area from the top, and then I'll try to take a long here, targeting at least 14,400. Yes, that's 300 points, but uh, that's a good swing here. So for sure, we can dive deeper into the hourlies and see how it looks like going into next week. Not much difference in the hourly, still the same range here. And what we will do here, we'll look at the 1 hourly and see if there is anything changes there. So let my charts refresh. Sorry guys, my computer is running a little bit slow today. And looking at the 1 hourly, it's the same area that we're looking at before. And as I can see, that is definitely 13,578. So 13,600 is a good resistance to see if it breaks out. There was a still it could not break out of that 570 area, so let's put a resistance here and let's see if it is able to break this out. So as of now, we can try 13,580 and 13,700 to see if it is going to hold that 580. So if it breaks 580 and retests from the top, I'm going to try to take a long here, targeting at least 13,700. But if rejects from here, then we know that this area here where we had a rejection, so somewhere here, this area 13,400 is a very good area for us to take a short and cover our short. That's a support area. This something that goes up vertically like this always comes back down, so definitely point of interest for me, this area. But I go from level to level, so if this 13,580, 590 area or 13,600 area is rejected, I will take a short there and I will get out of my short, or at least cover 60% of my short in this 340 area and then have runners targeting this area. That would be my plan going into next week. I'm still leaning towards a bull run, so I'll be biased towards this level being broken and then retest it from the top and then take a long here targeting 13700, but price action prevails. And want to bring to your notice here that it is definitely overbought in the hourly charts. And one thing I also want to emphasize to make sure that we do not have any kind of gap fills here. So I did not see any gap fills. There is one gap fill here that needs to be filled here. So that is 13494, but that is already filled. And there is a huge gap here. So I know you cannot see this. So let me go in here. So there is a gap here that is not filled here. So that is 13329, and there is a huge gap here that is not filled. So definitely these gaps needs to be filled. So we'll see when these gaps get filled. But as I said, if we are rejected from this level, I'm going to take a short, and I'll definitely try to cover at this 13360, targeting gap fill also 13325, and leave a runner for at least this gap fill here at 13120, and then all the way to 13061, so 1360. A lot of numbers, but definitely keep an eye on this one. As always, keep your stop losses tight, your losses small, and your profit large. Thank you for listening.